Tunaelewana wenzangu? Ya? Tunaelewana? Hiyo mambo sijui dynasty hustler imewaletea nini? Ya? Imewaletea nini? Imewaletea nini? Sasa mkuje muambiwe siasa ingine ya ukabila itawaletea nini isipokuwa shida?
Is a particular kind of a silence that falls over a room when a man who warned you and you ignored finally decides to speak. That silence felt over Kiambu Golf Club on Monday, May 25th, 2026, when retired President Uhuru Kenyatta walked into a Jubilee Party delegates meeting, looked out at their faces before him, and delivered 6 words that carried full weight of 4 years of passion.
Musikubali. Mulenge mbele. Mulenge mabadiliko ambaye itainua hali ya neba wako. Awe Mukikuyu, awe Mukalenjin, awe Mujaluo, awe Mukamba, awe Mkisii, awe Mudigo. Huyo neba wako ndio unastahili kuinua. Akiinuka hata wewe umeinuka. Ama ni namna gani? Na nyinyi vijana ambao mnatafuta uongozi, tafuteni uongozi kwa njia ya kueleza vijana wenzenu vile mtawabadilishia maisha, vile mtawapatia kazi, vile mtatengeneza mitaa yao, vile mtashirikiana na wao waweze kuwa Wakenya ambao wanajivunia na wanafurahia.
Uhuru Kenyatta said that I warned you in 2022, but you didn't listen. Now you are crying. He didn't shout it. He did not need to. Those words landed with the quiet authority of a man who had already been proven right, speaking to people who already knew it, because he did not want them back. Back in 2022, when William Ruto was rolling across the country with his wheelbarrow and his hustler narrative, and the best promise he made was to the hustler nation, that is me and you. Uhuru was on the other side of that story. He campaigned against President Ruto. He urged Kenyans in his own people, that is the Mount Kenya region, his backyard, to think carefully before electing President Ruto, to look past that theater, to ask harder questions about who they were handing the country to. They didn't listen. The Mount Kenya region, the very community that he had built his political identity around Uhuru Kenyatta for over a decade, went with Ruto. It was one of the most consequential decisions that the Mount Kenya bloc had ever made since 1963. For a while, it looked like it might pay off. There were promises of economic empowerment. There were promises of a government that understood the ordinary Kenyan, promises of a presidency that would reward loyalty. But the dividends never fully arrived. The cost of living climbed, wages stagnate, taxes are beating harder and harder, and the administration that had promised the new economic dawn found itself in the uncomfortable position of defending figures that did not always match what the Kenya National Bureau of Statistics was reporting. For example, a maize harvest claim that fell far short of unofficial data, a sugarcane sector said to be surging by 76%, while the Kenya Bureau of Standard show a 24.7% contradiction. There is an affordable housing program count cited by President at around 230,000 units against the official figure of 205,000 under construction. Quietly, steadily, the ground has shifted beneath the people who had ignored Uhuru's warning. And now, on a Monday morning in Kiambu, he was standing before the Mount Kenya people. But here is what made the moment remarkable. Uhuru did not come to clout. He came to organize his own house. Because a lesser politician, one driven by ego or grievances, would have used that room to settle scores. Uhuru did that. He acknowledged the pain. He validated the frustration. And then he turned the faces in that room toward something forward-looking rather than backward-looking. He urged the residents of Kiambu and the wider Mount Kenya region to remain united. He warned them clearly and directly that internal division are the most dangerous things a community can do to itself in the years approaching a general election. That when a community fractured over petty disagreement, they lose their bargaining power. They lose development. They lose relevance. And when those things are neglected, the community will suffer for a whole 5 years. So that line carried the warningness of a man who had watched Kenyan politics long enough to know the very trick that they get played on communities that are now paying attention to it. So take what is offered, but think for yourself when it matters most. That is what Uhuru said.